co-discoverer of evolution switched to intelligent design. 2. In a previous video, we mentioned that Alfred Russel Wallace, Darwin's contemporary and co-discoverer of evolution by random variations and natural selection, switched over from purely naturalistic evolution to intelligent design. In this video, we present additional quotes from Wallace to show why he switched to intelligent design. Quote, Wallace, "My contribution is made as a man of science, as a naturalist, as a man who studies his surroundings to see where he is. And the conclusion I reach in my book, The World of Life, is this, that everywhere, not here and there, but everywhere, and in the very smallest operations of nature to which human observation has penetrated, there is purpose and a continual guidance and control." Quote, Wallace, "I believe it to be the guidance of beings superior to us in power and intelligence. Call them spirits, angels, gods, what you will. The name is of no importance. I find this control in the lowest cell. The wonderful activity of cells convinces me that it is guided by intelligence and consciousness. I cannot comprehend how any just and unprejudiced mind, fully aware of this amazing activity, can persuade itself to believe that the whole thing is a blind and unintelligent accident." Quote, Wallace, "There was at some stage in the history of the Earth, after the cooling process, a definite act of creation. Something came from the outside. Power was exercised from without. In a word, life was given to the Earth. All the errors of those who have distorted the thesis of evolution into something called, inappropriately enough, Darwinism, have arisen from the supposition that life is a consequence of organization. This is unthinkable." A.R. Wallace, New Thoughts on Evolution. Quote, Wallace, "All this wonderful beauty and diversity of nature results from the operation of a few simple laws. In my early unregenerate days, I used to think that only material forces and natural laws were operative throughout the world. But these I now see are hopelessly inadequate to explain the mystery and wonder and variety of life. I am absolutely convinced that behind and beyond all elementary processes, there is a guiding and directive force, a divine power or hierarchy of powers, ever controlling these processes so that they are tending to more abundant and to higher types of life." James Marchant, Alfred Russel Wallace, Letters and Reminiscences, Volume 2, pages 263 and 264. Quote, Wallace, "Neither natural selection nor the more general theory of evolution can give an account whatever of the origin of sensational or conscious life. They may teach us how, by chemical, electrical, or higher natural laws, the organized body can be built up, can grow, can reproduce its like. But those laws and that growth cannot even be conceived as endowing the newly arranged atoms with consciousness. But the moral and higher intellectual nature of man is as unique a phenomenon as was conscious life on its first appearance in the world, and the one is almost as difficult to conceive as originating by any law of evolution as the other." Quote, Wallace, "We may even go further and maintain that there are certain purely physical characteristics of the human race which are not explicable on the theory of variation and survival of the fittest. The brain, the organs of speech, the hand, and the external form of man offer some special difficulties in this respect." Quote, Wallace, "This subject is a vast one and would require volumes for its proper elucidation. But enough, we think, has now been said to indicate the possibility of a new standpoint for those who cannot accept the theory of evolution as expressing the whole truth in regard to the origin of man. While admitting to the full extent the agency of the same great laws of organic development in the origin of the human race as in the origin of all organized beings, there yet seems to be evidence of a power which has guided the action of those laws in definite directions and for special ends." Quote, Wallace, "The mind of man, itself the living proof of a supreme mind, is able to trace, and to a considerable extent has traced, the laws by means of which the organic, no less than the inorganic world has been developed. But let us not shut our eyes to the evidence that an overruling intelligence has watched over the action of those laws, so directing variations and so determining their accumulation as finally to produce an organization sufficiently perfect to admit of and even to aid in the indefinite advancement of our mental and moral nature." Alfred Russel Wallace, Article the 3rd, Quarterly Review, Volume 126, 1869. Thanks to Evolution News for the quotes. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe, and comment below if you agree or would like to add your thoughts.